Hello and welcome to the Anarcho-Biblicalist bookcast. My name is Jordan, and as always, I am joined by my good friend Juan. How you doing?
Thanks, Ryan. I'm doing good. This week I've been kind of just chilling and eating popcorn to the FBI rates Trump's house thing.
Oh yeah,
Cause this is not my opinion, but this is what I see at it, right? So all the conservatives are all up in arms that the FBI overstepped their authority and entered Trump's house. Okay.
yes.
And then that led them to then becoming accidentally based by them now wanting to defund the police and the FBI.
Yeah, it's very much it's very much a thing of I agree with them, but not for the reasons that they're saying. We both think the same thing should happen, and we both now think the FBI is bad, but I thought the FBI was bad because of COINTELPRO and shit.
And then there's a bunch of videos on TikTok, YouTube, of just regular conservatives, demanding that. And all the stupid lips in the comments are pointing out their hypocrisy. And it's no, shh, cállate, way. Don't correct them on this one.
Let it be. Just let it lie.
Let them fight. The more right-wing nuts attacking FBI outposts, the less they are cracking down on Black Lives Matters leaders. Let them be.
Is that one a call to arms? Should we include that?
That is not a call to arms. I do not endorse it, but if it does happen, I will find it hilarious.
Okay, there we go. I think we're legally okay now. So, Juan, can you give us a quick summary of what happened last week?
Oh boy. Last week we learned about our boy Abram, later known as Abraham. So he just went out and became a little nomad, just traveling if I remember correctly, was Jerusalem, not Jerusalem, but the Palestine, Israel area.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Just getting to a whole lot of shenanigans and having a good old time raiding kings with his slaves and being a cuck to the pharaoh.
Oh yeah.
The fun stuff before we got into the really dark part of sexually assaulting a slave and mutilating his slaves. He had 2 kids. One was Ishmael, who was the slave one, and another was Isaac, right?
Yeah.
Born
correct.
to his actual wife.
Yeah. Just a lot of slavery, sexual assault, circumcision, and adultery. Yeah, so fun stuff. Do you have any predictions for where the story's going to go this time?
When they were talking about the wars between all those kings, World War King. They mentioned about Sodom and Gomorrah that their wickedness was not yet complete. So I'm guessing we are going into Sodom and Gomorrah.
Saddam Hussein and Gomorrah, yes.
Gomorrah being, they stole that name from the hotel in Fallout New Vegas. Fucking bastards.
That one sure came first, yeah. All right, before we get into it, probably should have already done it, but content warning. This book is fucking awful. If you don't like any of the things listed in our summary, basically, if you're sensitive to any of those subjects, probably don't listen to this podcast at all. Okay, now on. Now we get into our first verse of the day. Are you ready?
No, but let's go.
The Lord appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre, as he sat at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the tent entrance to meet them and bowed down to the ground. He said, "My Lord, if I find favor with you, do not pass by your servant. Let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Let me bring a little bread, that you may refresh yourself, and after that you may pass on, since you have come to your servant." So they said, "Do as you have said." And Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah and said, "Make ready quickly 3 measures of choice flour, knead it, and make cakes." Abraham ran to the herd and took a calf, tender and good, and gave it to the servant, who hastened to prepare it. Then he took curds and milk and the calf that he had prepared and set it before them, and stood by them under the tree while they ate. So we find Abraham just meeting God, as he usually does. It's a big day when you meet God. It doesn't happen every day. So he wanted to give God a good little meal.
Wait, so it said 3 men standing near him, and the 3 men are God? Does the Trinity already exist, or am I reading wrong here?
No, to summarize, the Trinity doesn't already exist. My interpretation is that this is God and two angels.
Oh.
We'll get to that reason. You know, we will stick with these characters for a little bit. I would certainly argue it's not the Trinity. Christians would argue otherwise, but I would disagree with them, and I think I have some pretty good reasons for it.
Guy came in with his crew about to drop some dope lines on some slaves.
He's fucking ready, and those slaves are named
Hanar?
Shit, I already forget her name, which is not ideal.
It's something to what I said.
It sucks because, like, I feel like if there's any character whose name deserves to be remembered in this story, it's her. Because, like, she's just having a rough time of it. But
no, we did make a point in the last episode that slaves are not treated with dignity in the Old Testament. And then we failed to treat her with dignity by not remembering her name.
Yeah.
But to be fair, though, her name is not English, so how the fuck am I supposed to remember it? Or Spanish.
English or Spanish. I mean, if it was Italian, I would probably also remember it.
Oh, don't worry. There'll be a few more centuries, there'll be plenty of pre-Italian slaves.
Sure will be, unfortunately. Alright, next verse is, they said to him, "Where's your wife Sarah?" And he said, "There, in the tent." Then one said, "I will surely return to you in due season, and your wife Sarah shall have a son." And Sarah was listening at the tent entrance behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, advanced in age. It had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. So Sarah laughed to herself, saying, "After I have grown old, and my husband is old, shall I be fruitful?" The Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Shall I indeed bear a child, now that I am old?' Is anything too wonderful for the Lord? At the set time I will return to you in due season, and Sarah shall have a son." But Sarah denied, saying, "I did not laugh," for she was afraid. He said, "Yes, you did laugh." I love the, did you laugh? No.
Yeah,
yes, you did.
I fucking love the prospect of an omniscient God being like, where the fuck is this woman that's only a few meters away from me? Didn't know that, but he knew that she was laughing.
That's a fucking theme in the Bible. I don't know if he's doing it like rhetorically or what, but like he's just like, "Hey, where are you?" He's just walking around, can't find fucking anyone. Did that in the fucking Garden of Eden too.
You know what I think it is? You know how like when you just are just walking whatever comfortably in your house and you like accidentally bump into something, doesn't really hurt, but you say "ow." You know, it's like he's doing the godly version of that. Maybe.
He's like, "I know where you are, but I want you to tell me where you are."
And also, if I was Sarah and God just told me I'm gonna have a son at the age of like 99, I'd be afraid too. I'ma fucking die. There ain't no medicine at this time.
True. Yeah, no, not trying to get infected, man. So, love a good doublet. It's been a while, but last week there was also a bit about them laughing at having kids in their old age. Also, this whole time there's been a pun that I've been sort of ignoring because I wanted to independently fact check it. Basically, the future tense for laugh in Hebrew is itzak, and the name
these nuts.
Isaac. Ah! Damn. Bro, that's why they're laughing. Fucking got him. But
sorry,
yeah,
on.
the name the words Itzhak, the word Itzhak is also the name Isaac. Confirmed it was actually like a pun in the original Hebrew. And not just like a false etymology like sometimes happens in the Bible.
Wait. So, okay, the pen sense of laugh is Itzhak, which is also the name of Isaac.
Yeah.
Why is it a pun?
Basically, they keep laughing every time that God tells them they're going to have a kid. It's like, no, we're not. We're fucking old. But God's like, oh, yeah? You're really going to fucking laugh when your kid's name is Laugh, stupid.
You laughed at my suggestion, and now your kid's a joke.
Eat sock these nuts. Yeah, no, he fucking said. They said, I'm going to eat sock at that. And God said, eat sock these nuts. Now, I know what you're thinking, Juan. It's been like 2 whole paragraphs, and there hasn't been an atrocity yet.
I don't know. Giving God curds to eat does sound like an atrocity.
Wait, say again.
Because he said he made quick of like the milk and curds.
Oh, true. And I also didn't say specifically that they cooked the calf or whatever.
Curds. Yeah.
I like to think they ate it alive because they're weird god men.
Just picks it up and eats it like bubblegum.
Yeah.
And it's a little chewy.
Now, there is some lead up before the next atrocity, but we're going to get to the next heavy part. We're going to start leading to the next heavy part now, and I hope you're ready.
All
right. Thus starts the tale of Sodom and Gomorrah. Then the men set out from there, and they looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to set them on their way. The Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Seeing that Abraham shall become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? No, for I have chosen him, that he may charge his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice, so that the Lord may bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Then the Lord said, "How great is the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah, and how very grave their sin. I must go down and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry that has come to me, and if not, I will know."
So did God just speak in a third person here?
Yeah. Maybe he's one of those guys. He spoke a little bit in the third person. I think what he's basically just seems to be agonizing as to whether he's going to tell Abraham his terrible plan to destroy 2 cities full of people.
My headcanon is that like he's talking to himself in front of Abraham. Like I know it says they set out from there, but it doesn't say that they split up. So Abraham's just like right next to him. He's like, "Should I tell Abraham?" Abraham's like, "Tell me what?" "No, but I must."
I can't tell Abraham this awful thing I'm going to do. Oh, but just Abraham's just right there.
And he's just like, oh no. What is he gonna get into us next?
Historicity note, by the way. A lot of people have thought about where the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah might have been. I haven't seen any good evidence that they're actually concretely based off of a specific city or anything. I personally doubt they ever existed. I'll say that.
It's really funny if this sets out to be like a Atlantis situation where Plato was like, yeah, there's this city that came to try and defeat us Greeks, but alas, their hubris was their ending. And now everybody thinks that Atlantis was a real place. He was just telling a tall tale.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's the same thing with the Bible. It's like, look at these cities that are really bad, and God destroyed them. Take note of this tale that I've just told you. And everybody's like, oh, where are they? No, it's a moral tale. It's like, I'm gonna go find them. No, it's not real. It's like, I'm gonna go find them.
Yeah, I mean, one could argue that is the Bible in a nutshell. In a lot of cases anyways. But yeah, I'd argue that this is more like a legend that is a morality tale in some capacity. I don't know what morals one gets from them, to be honest, after reading this, but we'll have to see. So now God's gonna reveal his plan, his scheme to Abraham. So the men turned from where they were and went to Sodom, while Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham came near and said, "Will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you then sweep away the place and not forgive it for the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to do such things, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as the wicked. Far be that from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do what is just?" And the Lord said, "If I find at Sodom 50 righteous in the city, I will forgive the whole place for their sake." Abraham answered, "Let me take it upon myself to speak to my Lord, I who am but dust and ashes. Suppose 5 of the 50 righteous were lacking. Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5? And he said, "I will not destroy it if I find 45 there." And again he spoke to him, "Suppose 40 are found there." He said, "For the sake of 40 I will not do it." Then he said, "Oh, do not let my Lord be angry if I speak. Suppose 30 are found there."
Oh my God.
He answered, "I will not do it if I find 30 there." He said, "Let me take it upon myself to speak to my Lord. Suppose 20 are found there."
Oh my God. What is this fucking debate Lord talking about?
let's say for the sake of argument that there are 20 righteous people found in Sodom. Would my Lord then destroy the city?
Therefore, it comes to the conclusion that if there are 30 righteous people, he will not destroy the city. But then therefore, what if maybe there are now 20 righteous people in the city? Oh my god.
Oh, just wait. He answered, "For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it." Then he said, "Oh, do not let my Lord be angry if I speak just once more. Suppose 10 are found there." He answered, "For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it." And the Lord went his way when he had finished speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place.
Oh my fucking god.
I like to think God just got fucking annoyed and left then.
It's the same thing with the fucking flood. He's like, oh, I will destroy the flood. But wait, what about the animals? Fine. You know, he just like kept...
I don't know, put them on a boat.
What if 50 are there? Fine, I guess the city can live. What about 40? Fine.
Maybe Abraham knew he had a shot, you know, of talking him down.
God's will is not that strong.
Yeah, and for the forgetful listener, Abraham was probably so fucking annoying because his nephew, Lot, lived in Sodom at that time.
Oh yeah, that is true. I guess I'm the forgetful listener.
No, I would be too. Don't worry.
But it's just, oh my god. Like, throughout the whole time reading this thing, it seems at least like it was... Not seems. It was well written. Like, you know, there were like some really cool lines here and there. Some nice repetition in like a really, you know, cool way. And this was just painful. Like, I get the point it's trying to make, but...
I'm willing to give it...
This sucks.
I'm willing to give it a bit of a... a bit of a benefit of the doubt, because I can see it being sort of like a literary repetition. I'm not, you know, I can dissect literature, but I'm not like the biggest expert in the world on it. But yeah, I mean, this is just like silly for me to read.
No, this was like some Nathan Fielder level type cringe, like, which I understand is trying to get to a point, but like, I don't appreciate it here. This is 2,000 years before that type of comedy is polished up.
Yeah, this is fucking Abraham making God, like, crawl through a small door into a room with a crocodile before he can destroy Sodom. It's like the fucking, the free TV episode or whatever. Alright, so those other two guys who are with God, who, let's take it for a moment and say that they are, Jesus and the Holy Spirit or whatever. Let's just keep that in mind as things go. That that I was taught in Catholic school that they were, you know, the Jeebus and the Spirit. Let's follow them into Sodom and see what they do.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, my head was just like, you know, God rolled up with Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Jesus, Abraham, Jesus. This is what I did with all the foreskins I collected. Thank you very much. Ain't he beauty?
Because I'm just picturing like a pile of gurgling foreskins trying to speak with like hair on top.
Like, it's not polished yet. But
yeah, no. This is Alpha Jesus.
Yeah, once he gets a proper release, he's like that chiseled, for some reason, you know, Caucasian, long-haired male. But for now, he's in a prototype stages.
Yeah. They're still updating him. They're still doing testing and patching. All right, let's go to Sodom. Let's see what they're up to there. The two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them and bowed down his face to the ground. He said, "Please, lords, turn aside to your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you can rise early and go on your way." They said, "No, we will spend the night in the square." But he urged them strongly. So they turned aside to him and entered his house. And he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all of the people, to the last man, surrounded the house, and they called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, so that we may know them." And to make sure everybody's on the same page, they mean fucking them. Knowing them in the biblical sense means they want to fuck them.
Oh.
So they see foreskin Jesus, and they're like, "Hey, what are you up to?"
Damn, Jesus, what them foreskins do?
But yeah, I mean, everybody, like, because I feel like...
Do they be clapping? Hell yeah, they be clapping.
Unfortunately, they be clapping. Because I like that, like, everybody says, oh, the three people came to Abraham's house. They must be Jesus and the Holy Spirit also. But then they read this story, if they ever do, without that context and be like, oh, those are angels. Nobody would ever want to have sex with Jesus. That's unholy. That's part of the reason why I don't think that this is Jesus, and also all of the things that it says. I believe it literally says that they're angels of God at one point. I also like how both Abraham and Lot were just like, hey, will you please come into my house? I want to give you a little foot rub. I want to give you a little meal. Make you a little snack, you know?
Oh, God. That's the Epstein method.
Oh, no. Is it?
He would bring in girls and, interview them for jobs or, like, talent, and then either offer them foot rubs, or Ghislaine Maxwell will, like, suggest to the girls to give him foot rubs. And that's how it always started.
Oh, God. That's a disaster. Might be worth cutting that. Let's see.
No, because it shows how deprived everybody is in this fucking book. I don't give a fuck.
This is a depraved book.
Even the so-called holy ones are here following in Epstein's footprints.
Dear God.
Or, probably the other way around, but...
Alright, the Bible's about to have another normal one. You ready, one?
You say that now, but literally the whole town came in to fucking ram femboy Angel 1 and 2.
Well, it's already started. The normal one's already started. It's about to get even more normal, though.
Alright.
Lot went out of the door to the men, shut the door after him, and said, I beg you, my brothers, do not act so wickedly. Look, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Let me bring them out to you, and do to them as you please.
What the fuck? Whoa! Oh my God. Why the fuck are you living in that town?
Yeah, what the fuck?
So, the way he says it feels like he already knows who these people are.
Yeah, he lives in that town. These are his neighbors. This is his fucking, this is his Ned Flanders coming in to drop in and say hi. This is his Kramer coming in and be like, hey, we want to fuck those angels.
Well, I guess if you're in that situation... I don't know what you would do in that situation, but I don't know.
It's a real
2 people raped for 2 people raped.
It's a real would you rather. It's a real dilemma.
Yes, Captain, we trade lives here. Alright, let's see where this goes.
Only do nothing to these men, for they have come under the shelter of my roof. But they replied, stand back. And they said, this fellow came here as an alien, and he would play the judge? Now we will deal worse with you than with them.
Oh my God.
Then they pressed hard against the man Lot, and came near the door to break it down. But the men inside reached out their hands and brought Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. And they struck with blindness the men who were at the door of the house, both small and great, so that they were unable to find the door.
Okay, that's kind of funny. That's a good response, I feel like. But, oh my God,
who do you think you are? We're gonna fuck you harder for judging us. We're gonna fuck you because you judged us.
Please, don't take the pussy. Take the pussy. No, we don't want no fucking pussy. We're offended even the notion. Now we're gonna take your pussy.
And, like, he's like, oh, these men took shelter under my roof. I can't give them up, unlike my daughters who haven't taken shelter under my roof.
Don't take shelter under my roof, apparently.
Yeah.
I also love how he says, they never known a man. It's like, bitch, how do you know?
Yeah, true. I mean,
that ain't your business.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless somewhere it says that they are under age of consent, in which case I did not say what I just said.
There's literally no textual evidence one way or another.
Alright, good, I'm in the clear.
Moreover, there's a little bit of inconsistent textual evidence coming up, and I'll read that right now.
About what? Lot having 2 daughters?
About whether they have known men.
Oh.
Then the men said to Lot, have you anyone else here? Sons-in-law, sons, daughters, or anyone you have in the city, bring them out of this place. For we are about to destroy this place, because the outcry against its people have become great before the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and said to his sons-in-law, who were married to his daughters, up, get out of this place, for the Lord is about to destroy the city. But he seemed to his son-in-laws to be jesting.
Oh, so they do know men.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like different daughters. Like he has some daughters under his roof and other daughters with sons-in-law, but like either he was like lying or something, or he lost a few daughters in the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
If your girl's old man is coming to you and being like, yo, the city's about to be destroyed. Get out of here. I feel like there's no other way to take it other than to like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What do you mean?
Very funny, Lot. He's a prankster.
It's just Lot having PTSD from the old war, from World War King. Don't worry about him.
Lot, you think I'm gonna fall for that after you got me the whoopee cushion last week? No way. So now it's time for them to dip out. When morning dawned, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Get up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or else you will be consumed by the punishment of the city." But he lingered. So the men seized him and his wife and his 2 daughters by the hand, the Lord being merciful to him. And they brought him out and left him outside the city. When they had brought them outside, they said, "Flee for your life. Do not look back or stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the hills, or else you will be consumed." And Lot said to them, "Oh no, my lords, your servant has found favor with you, and you have shown me great kindness in saving my life. But I cannot flee to the hills, for fear the disaster will overtake me and I die. Look, that city is near enough to flee to, and it is a little one. Let me escape there. Is it not a little one? And my life shall be spared." He said to him, "Very well, I grant you this favor too, and will not overthrow the city of which you have spoken. Hurry, escape there, for I can do nothing until you arrive there." Therefore the city was called Zoar. Yeah, that's a weird little detail of just like, maybe don't destroy that city. I know this whole area's all sinful, but like, it's just a little city, and I'll be there. I'm a nice guy.
Fine, I guess I won't doom another city. You can go there. Like, if it's a lot of effort to put into not destroying a city.
He's like, but what if I get sleepy on the way to the plains? And I get tired, and I run not so fast, and then I don't make it. Yeah, I haven't seen anything conclusive as to whether Zoar is a real place, by the way. But what were you saying?
There's just this little city, surviving away from Sodom. You know, I imagine they must be really nervous living to a city full of just fucking weirdos. And, you know, they got their own little culture and everything. They got a name for themselves. And then out of nowhere, this asshole comes with, like, the earth sinking underneath him. He's like, "Alright, this place is now called Zoar. Who the fuck are you?"
This place is now called Tiny Fucking Puny Little Guy. That's what this city's called now.
And, you know, they obviously be mad. It's like, this guy just came here and, like, his presence here just colonized us. But we can't say anything because the earth was literally destroyed right behind him. So I guess we just better not fuck with it. I guess we're called Zoar now. Unless, you know, we want to be devoured by the earth too.
But also, they haven't even gotten there yet. There's another bit of them running, and we're gonna get right into that.
Oh, the chase sequence.
Chase sequence. The sun had risen on the earth when Lot came to Zoar. Then the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah sulfur and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and what grew on the ground. But Lot's wife behind him looked back, and she became a pillar of salt.
Okay, they stole that from fucking Orpheus.
They stole that from Orpheus? From Morpheus?
No, not from Morpheus, from Orpheus.
Oh, that was fucking stupid of me.
Morpheus, Orpheus, seashell by the she's Orpheus.
Because I was thinking you said Morbius, but like I forgot that that Morbius and Morpheus were pronounced differently and spelled differently and were different.
Orpheus Orpheus is the okay, maybe it's not. Yeah, it's Orpheus.
It is Orpheus. The
Greek tale about the harp player who seduces Hades into giving back his wife. Then he looks back and his wife's gone.
Yeah.
It's like you stole a bit of the plot there. I see that. I ain't letting you get away with it.
Possibly a little bit of cultural borrowing, honestly. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody could know, but
people study this. There's a lot of in terms of like the ancient Near East and like that the areas like that are sort of nearby Israel and their influences on Jewish religion and like myth and stuff. And then there's also the broader sort of Indo-European shit, which I forget if it is. I forget the extent to which Jewish myth is like in that sort of sphere. I guess there's a lot of bleed over in myth, and like a lot of people who study very closely what is related and like, you know, what the little similarities between myths are and if they had a common origin point. It's possible. I mean, you know, the don't look back bit. That might just be it could be coincidence, but honestly I have no idea.
I mean, it just might be like, do exactly what the angels tell you to do. Failure to do so will result in dire consequences. I feel like that's the general lesson here with those two tales.
Yeah. If you save some angels from getting had sex with, listen to them closely. That's the universal lesson to be taken here.
But why did Gomorrah go down? Like, he just kind of lumped these two cities together.
The whole plane, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of lumped them in together. It was like 10 people, dude. Calm down. You didn't even give Abraham a chance to find those 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 righteous people.
True. I guess
there was already one, Lot.
I mean, shit, yeah. What if Lot's sons-in-law were righteous? They're dead.
They didn't even give him a chance.
Also, I think like a couple of paragraphs ago, it said, get your wife and your 2 daughters who are here. I think they are like the daughters who are at home, who are with them, and then his other daughters are just dead now.
Damn, y'all punish Lot more than anything.
Yeah,
because now he has to deal with the loss of a lot of family. Well, everybody else is just dead.
Oh, Lot's punishment is gonna ramp up even from here.
What the fuck did he do? Well, I guess we'll find out.
Oh, we won't find out, but we will see what his trials and tribulations are. Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. And he looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and saw the smoke of the land going up like the smoke of a furnace.
Wow, what a deep simile.
Yeah, literature, folks. So it was that when God destroyed the cities of the plain, God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had settled. Yeah, I mean, so really, he saved Lot. You're welcome. This wasn't a punishment by having his daughters and sons-in-law killed. This was mercy. And also his wife. Don't forget his wife.
I can just imagine Lot just, you know, he has like some dried meat. Well, he's gonna dry some meat. He just has the pillar, like he's chiseling out the salt while crying. It's like, oh, my dear love. Oh my God, you're so useful right now.
I mean, he's an ancient anarcho-capitalist. He's got to use every bit of resources he's got.
And God gave you literal human resources. You must utilize.
And salt resources. Exchanged your human resources into salt resources, not by the usual buying and selling, but by just directly. All right, Juan. Remember?
Wait, isn't like, I'm not sure if you would even know anything about this, but wasn't alchemy kind of seen as blasphemous?
Yes.
Is that kind of what he did here?
I think so. I mean, like, I don't know if it would apply back in these days. These days also didn't exist. I don't know if it would apply to, like, ancient Hebrews and, like, Jewish people reading this. I think to a certain extent it would. Either way.
Oh, yeah, probably. They probably couldn't pronounce the word alchemy anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can barely pronounce Hebrew, so it's fair. Now, Juan, remember a couple of episodes back, that story about Noah getting drunk? And like all of the weird subtext and speculation there.
Yeah, very metaphorical story, following a rather straightforward one.
Yeah,
very odd. Yes.
So what if you took that story and made the instead of having like subtext, just making it the text and making it the worst possible version of any of the speculation?
So we're just gonna talk about castration now?
No. Incest.
Oh, well, what the fuck did you get incest from the Noah tale?
That was a thing that a sister had told me, that it wasn't incest subtext. Anyways.
No, I feel like you need to talk to that sister and send her to therapy.
I mean, probably most sisters need to go to therapy. That's maybe a little too far. I don't know. Well, anyways. Now Lot went up out of Zoar, and settled in the hills with his 2 daughters, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. So he lived in a cave with his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said to the younger...
Oh, wait, is this a fucking story I think is about to be... Okay.
Yep, sure is.
I think I know where this is going.
Yep, you know. And the firstborn said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man on earth to come in to us, after the manner of all the world. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him. so that we may preserve offspring through our Father.
This episode of the Anarcho-Biblicalist podcast brought to you by Brazzers. No, it is not. Parentheses.
No, yeah, it's like Zor, it's a little city. There's no people there. I don't know why they think there's not a man on earth to come into them. I don't get that part, because like textually, they just left a place where they were meant to come into them.
You know, like the really famous Twitter template, which is like some woman being like, "Damn, why can't I find a man like this?" And then some guy's like, "Yo, what up?" Oh, yeah. She's like, "No." It's like, I'm literally the guy in the pic. Yeah. This is them.
Yeah, and so they did some violence.
Lot just, got fucking spared. Him and his family being the few righteous in the city of fucking degenerates. What the Bible terms degenerates, not me. Mm-hmm. And then they come here like actual degenerates and try to incest and sexual assault.
Yeah.
Like, nobody listens to God in this fucking book. And like, not that they should, but when they don't listen to him...
He's also an asshole.
He's also an asshole. But when they don't listen to him, they go out and do the worst things.
Yeah. All right. Let's rip this Band-Aid off. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and laid with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she rose. On the next day, the firstborn said to the younger, "Look, I lay last night with my father, you. Let us make him drink wine tonight also. Then you go in and lie with him, also you, so that we may preserve offspring through our father." So they made their father drink wine.
Also you.
So they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger rose and lay with him, and he did not know when she lay down or when she rose. Thus both the daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. The firstborn bore a son named Moab. He is the ancestor of the Moabites today. The younger also bore a son named Ben-Ami, and he is the ancestor of the Ammonites to this day.
How the fuck do you get Ammonites from Ben-Ami?
Maybe the Ami part? Ammonites?
Ah, okay. You got me
but
there.
The fucking plot twist at the end here is that this is all this whole bit is like fucking political slander. Because like,
oh my god, yeah, it fucking is.
Like, because like the Moabites and the Ammonites were like later in the Bible like neighbors of the Israelites who they would fight with, and like there's like historical records of them also, so like they existed. I think more so for the Ammonites than the Moabites. Maybe I'm getting that flipped, but like...
Holy shit, the people that wrote the Bible, literally, it's like you go into chat and call whoever you're arguing with a fucking inbred. Oh my god.
Yeah, basically, this is basically that. The asshole kingdom made a story up about...
This isn't as disgusting, not knowing that it's basically an insult to a group of people. Like, it's still disgusting in and of itself, but like... It's like when you tell somebody that
now it's racist also.
Yeah, but it's more akin now to, it's less the Bible and God endorsing this and more so like a fucking Xbox Live insult.
Yeah, this is fucking Xbox Live shit. It's like if America's like history book said Canada came into being when a moose fucked a goose.
And then he said, "I'm sorry."
By the way, this section is literally titled like the shameful origin of Moab and Ammon.
Huh. How did I miss that? Also, is this Moab? Can you explain to me why his name sounds so familiar? I feel like I've heard that name way too often. Is there like some conspiracy shit with it? Is he a demon? Is there something like that? I feel like that word has come out of Alex Jones' mouth way too much.
Huh. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's at least a city in Utah, upon a brief Google.
That's so weird to me. Who the fuck decides to name a city that? In America?
Mormons.
How the fuck you get away with that?
Half of cities in America are, like, from the Bible in some capacity.
Well, yeah, that makes sense, but whoever thought it'd be a good blessing to name your city Moab?
I mean, they probably read, like, a different 3 paragraphs in the Bible and were like, maybe me name city this.
Or unless they wanted to compete with Georgia for incest, I guess.
Yeah, because like is the whole point of this podcast is that everybody reads the Bible in little snippets. Nobody reads just the whole thing.
I feel like by the end of this podcast, I'm gonna feel like the guy from They Live, in which I have the glasses on and just see all the like bullshittery around me from the Bible.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
Jordan, you have condemned me to a life of conflict. I will never know peace now.
Bro, your ability to argue with religious people you will be Fedora levels of having atheist ammunition, man.
Ha, joke's on you. I'm not white. I cannot be cursed with such affliction.
True. Not allowed to be a Discord moderator.
But I also not exactly from Mexico. Well, I'm from Mexico. But like, I didn't live long enough there to know what the equivalence of that is there. So I'm in this limbo state where I can't be either.
Damn. True. I mean, I think the one drop rule makes me not eligible for being a Discord moderator.
That is true, but you are passing though.
I'm very passing,
So-
yeah.
But also, like, yeah, my ability to argue with religious people has increased tenfold. But I never wanted to do that in the first place.
Yeah. Past that stage in your life.
I'm just really good at something I don't want to do, like my job.
Bro, honestly, me too. I mean, I was talking about in that I would in theory be very good at arguing against religious people, but I don't. But also low key the second part is true.
Yeah. But also, I feel like what I have gathered is that if you just read the Bible enough, you already know more than most religious people. So it's not a high bar to break, let's be honest.
Yeah. All right. So the Sodom and Gomorrah saga is over, and now we got a couple more wacky filler.
That was such a short saga for something I hear so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of like another one of these episodes. I guess it was a little longer, I think, or at least I got the impression that it was. But now we just got a couple more wacky filler episodes, basically. In fact, we're about to have a rerun. Remember when Abraham and Sarah were in Egypt, and that whole cucking thing happened?
Yeah.
Keep that story in mind as I read this next bit.
Alright.
From there, Abraham journeyed toward the region of Negeb and settled between Kadesh and Shur. While residing in Gerar as an alien, Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." And King Abimelech of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, "You are about to die because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a married woman." Now Abimelech had not approached her. So he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent people? Did he not himself say to me, 'She is my sister'?" And she herself said, "He is my brother." I did this in the integrity of my heart, in the innocence of my hands. Then God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart. Furthermore, it was I who kept you from sinning against me. Therefore, I did not let you touch her. Now then, return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you do not restore her, know that you shall surely die, you and all that are yours."
God is so fucking... Oh my god.
"I'm gonna kill you, but I didn't do anything wrong." I know. Shut up. I did that, actually.
You can't fucking just contradict him or else he'll just do some mental gymnastics.
And I think there's a different way to read that, where it's like, "You'll die because you took her away, but I didn't fuck her. Yeah, because of me, but give her back." or I think it's like, he's like, "You'll die if you fuck her." And he's like, "But I didn't fuck her." It's like, "Yeah, I did that, but give her back."
I stopped you from fucking her, but I did not stop you from taking her at all, or in which case, even coming into this situation in the first place. And I could definitely stop people from fucking other people, but I did not did that with Gomorrah or Sodom.
Yeah, that wacky god. I also love the reuse of the classic saying "my wife is my sister, so a king sleeps with her and thus is cursed by God" trick. But it didn't work this time.
The fact that this happened more than once makes me think it is a kink.
Fucking possibly. If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice.
And I just imagine Abraham's just like off in the corners, just like either unbothered by this or just, yeah,
just feverishly masturbating. So Abimelech...
Props on you being able to pronounce that guy's name.
Thank you.
Abimelech.
I mean, I'm also sort of spitballing it. I'm just finding something that I think sounds decent enough.
Also, want to point out the sense, while residing in Gerar as an alien, is the most Star Wars-esque sense I have ever fucking read. And I've read a few Star Wars books.
I don't know, Juan. Have you really read a Star Wars book unless you've read the novelization of Star Wars Episode 3?
I've read the comic book version of The Empire Strikes Back.
Ah, shit, never mind.
And guess what? It's literally the exact same thing in picture form. I'm not sure why they fucking bothered.
It's just a fucking storyboard.
I mean, yeah, basically, storyboard with shittier art. Wait, there's a novelization of Episode 3?
Yeah, I was referencing that because everyone roasted me when we were hanging out with friends that I read that and that it exists.
Oh wait, how the fuck do you explain that like lightsaber fight at the end? How was that detailed?
It's a good question. I don't think I even got that far, but I like to think it just said
I like to think it was announced like a soccer match or like a baseball game. Then Anakin sings right on. No, Obi-Wan comes in with an underhand, and oh my god, he cuts his leg off. Goal!
Oh yeah, no, Anakin really had him in the first half, but then well, it took that halftime. He got into the right headspace. He took that high ground, and from there it was just over.
And then Joe Rogan comes in to like a fucking, half-burned corpse of Anakin. It's like, Anakin, how do you feel today? And Anakin's just like, I hate him.
I hate you.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Can you pull that up, Jamie? Just Google images of Anakin.
Oh, I'm sure some of you guys remember that Anakin got mutilated last episode. But here now they got these crazy implementations that let him walk again. Jamie, pull that up.
All right. We're about to get into a bit of a plot twist. You ready?
Okay.
So Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told them all these things. And all the men were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? How have I sinned against you, that you have brought such great guilt on me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that ought not to be done." And Abimelech said to Abraham, "What were you thinking that you did this thing?" Abraham said, "I did it because I thought, surely there is no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife." Yeah.
What? Hold up. Give me a second to process that. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Plot twist, Sarah is literally Abraham's sister, his half-sister.
Once again, this episode of the Anarcho-Biblicalist podcast brought to you by Brazzers.
Which, yeah. Just more fucking layers to this thing. More layers of bullshit. And
Save me, stepbrother. I'm in the hands of the Pharaoh.
And but yeah, I mean, it's just more and more layers, more and more added as we fucking read more.
I have slowly been convinced that this is actually like the most genius piece of dark comedy that everybody took literally. Because every layer that just unfolds is like, oh no, no. But then everybody in the ancient world just took it like, oh yeah.
Like the fucking sickos in that one comic, that one parody Ben Garrison comic. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
With each page that we turn from this book, the closer we go to hell.
We're already in hell. This is hell.
Whatever said the end of this book is super hell.
Oh, mega hell. Yeah.
Shit, I lost where we were.
Verse 13.
Okay.
And when God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, "This is the kindness you must do me. At every place to which we come, say of me, he is my brother." Then Abimelech took sheep and oxen, and male and female slaves, and gave them to Abraham, and restored his wife to him. Abimelech...
Sorry, it's just that the restored Sarah to him, it's kind of like he clicked undo in a Windows command prompt or something.
He controlled Z'd that shit. Abimelech said, "My land is before you. Sell where it pleases you." To Sarah he said, "Look, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. It is your exoneration before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated." Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech and also healed his wife and female slaves, so that they bore children. For the Lord had closed fast all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife.
What?
Yeah, I guess God fucking did hysterectomied everyone off screen and then undid it on screen.
Yo, this is such a fucking retcon. Because this is... Oh my... No. This is like when an anime, like in a filler episode, explains like a plot hole in like the last season.
Except it's like within a paragraph of writing.
Somebody complained to the writers, "Wait, how if you said Sarah was barren, how can she give a kid?" Whatever. God fixed it somewhere in between.
No, but it was all of fucking Abimelech's people. It was like, it didn't even, because like it's not that like Sarah is now fertile, which like, you know, with the fucking genes that are going on, maybe that's why they couldn't have kids. But but like it's a but God healed all of Abimelech's wife and all of Abimelech's female slaves, who they had not mentioned before, were barren since Sarah was there.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I took it to mean as like that Sarah was like already unable to do it and fixed it when this whole situation concluded. So that's what I took it to mean. But yeah, I guess you're right. That makes more sense.
But yeah, either way, like, it's just a weird little detail.
Well, it looks like Abraham got into Abimelech's house. I guess time to initiate womb removal.exe.
But he also controlled Z'd it. He killed the program.
What a weird place for this story to be in.
I know.
It was just telling us
right after Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
This is right after.
Yeah, you just tell us a tale about how God destroyed the city for this type of shit, and here's Abraham, his fucking champion, doing this type of shit.
Yeah, it's just so weird, man. All right, you ready to get back into like a story that we've heard like 3 times already?
Yeah.
The Lord dealt with Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had promised. Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to his son, whom Sarah bore him. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Now Sarah said, "God has brought laughter for me. Everyone who hears will laugh with me." And she said, "Who would ever have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age."
Such a precious moment, and they had to put the pun right in the middle of it. God has brought laughter.
Just right in the middle. Yeah. You suck on these nuts.
Well, this is... The Bible just went... Our last episode of the Old Testament. Abraham and Sarah give birth to Isaac. Now, back to the Old Testament. In this episode of the Old Testament, Abraham and Sarah gave birth to Isaac.
I think that this is more a Goku arriving to the battle situation, where it's like we see him on his way for like 12 episodes, and now finally he's arrived. Because I think that like they've been like, "Oh, you're gonna have a son, and you're gonna name him Isaac because of laugh."
No, I'm pretty sure they already said
you're gonna have a son.
I didn't detail his birth, but I thought I said that like, you know, his son was born, his name was Isaac.
Yeah, when his son, they have said like 5 times that you're going to have a son, you're going to have a lot of kids. Your son's going to be named Isaac because of laughter. And you're going to have you're going to have a kid, and that kid's going to have a nation made out of him. And oh, you're laughing, but I'm going to name him Laugh.
What a convoluted plot. Just this Isaac better be worth of some importance. For such fucking hype, he better live up to it.
Yeah. Anyways, now it's time for Abraham to abuse the slaves again. The children grew and were weaned. Wait.
They were weaned,
the
you
child
said?
Grew.
They were forced to listen to wean? Oh god, what a horrible fate.
Or a great fate, depending on who you are. Probably a bad fate.
I was being sarcastic, but...
Because I love a good little wean. Let me rephrase that. I love a bit of
Okay, you
lean.
say that now, but you never accepted my approaches. What the fuck? How long have I known you? Like 5 years, and all these 5 years of me thirsting over you. Now you tell me.
Oh, shit, do you have a little... Is that... I assumed you had a hog.
Do I look like the type of person to have a hog?
I mean, we'll have to let the audience decide. From the artwork right now, to give y'all a bit of behind the scenes knowledge, is in progress. It's a little cursed right now, and I hope it still keeps being cursed.
They're gonna see that, and they're just gonna be like, "No way, he got weaned. This ain't even human."
He's a fucking Ken doll down there. but like textured like rock. Like he's the fucking thing.
I'm just built like the thing. Where I'm just like all cracked.
Just dry.
So seriously, what does weaned mean?
Oh, I think it's like, and let me fucking Google it to make sure, but I think it's like weaned off of like breast milk.
Oh.
Yeah, accustom an infant or other young mammal to food other than its mother's milk.
Well, Ween, the artist, you have a lot of explaining to do now.
It's spelled different in their defense.
I still want to hear an explanation from them.
Okay, so the child grew and was weaned.
That's so fucking wrong.
Say again.
It just sounds so wrong.
Yeah. No, I see it. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned.
Oh my god.
Don't
Back
worry,
to the serious text.
We'll make it sad. But Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, playing with her son Isaac. So she said to Abraham, "Cast out this slave woman with her son. For the son of this slave woman shall not inherit along with my son Isaac." The matter was very distressing to Abraham on account of his son. But God said to Abraham, "Do not be distressed because of the boy and because of your slave woman. Whatever Sarah says to you, do as she tells you. For it is through Isaac that offspring shall be named for you. As for the son of the slave woman, I will make a nation of him also, because he is your offspring." So Abraham rose early in the morning, and took bread and a skin of water, and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder along with her child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered about in the wilderness of Beersheba.
Oh my god, that became very...
Yeah, she cannot catch a fucking break, dude.
The way I imagined in my head was very sad too. It's just like them as toddlers just, enjoying their time together and then just being separated the next day.
About that.
They're just brothers.
About that. The footnote says that the Hebrew lacks the phrase "with her son Isaac" when saying that Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, playing with her son Isaac. It's a possible interpretation is that Sarah just saw the laughter of a child and thought, "I don't like this." Unless there's like a bit of Hebrew grammar filling in the blanks. I don't know Hebrew well enough to say, but like, I guess on one hand it lacks that potent image, but on the other hand, she just saw the child playing and was like, he's gotta fucking go.
I mean, same, but not for the same reason.
Yeah, either way. Children playing. And what Sarah thought was, this family needs to be broken up, actually.
Oh my god, poor Hagar.
Yeah, poor Hagar. Jesus Christ.
Fucking Abraham literally came out and gave her, the little sack that travelers carry, and then just...
That fucking bindle?
Yeah, bindle, and just like, bye-bye.
That's what Drake carries, and then he says, "Well, I'm gonna hit the old dusty trail now."
That's who what carries?
Drake. Have you seen those memes about Drake?
Drake who? Bell?
The artist.
What?
Yeah.
Drake with a bindle, a Gucci one, I hope.
No, but it's like just Drake doing like cartoon shit.
I've seen the ones where he's like Drake, the type of person to like text his girlfriend XOXO type, that type of shit.
Yeah, but there's also shit like Drake's the type of person to say like, let me think of a good one.
Drake, the type of person to rub his belly when he ever eats something delicious.
Yeah. Like there's one of him. There's one that's like a picture of like an Ebenezer Scrooge sleeping hat, like gave her, and he's like Drake, the type of person to wear this to bed.
I was more so in my head. It wasn't Drake. It was whoever's Latino will know. It's El Chavo del Ocho, who's like a character from a '70s sitcom, and he lived in a barrel in his neighborhood. And all his only possessions were that barrel and the little, what you call it? Swindle?
Bindle, Bindle.
Yeah, that thing. Which is an iconic character in Mexico. So that's what was in my head. But sure, Drake fits too. They're both on the same level of cartoonishness.
Also, I just sent a meme to the chat. It's the thing I was thinking of.
Yo, Drake is the type of person to fucking sleep with that hat on. What the fuck?
With a little fucking candle.
That's also how I prepare when I go to listen to Drake to get ready to bed.
Damn. Ready to go night.
I forgot who it is, but some guy. He was streaming himself, and he was like, top 5 rappers. Number 1, Drake. 2, Drake. 3, Drake. 4, Drake. Drake. And then somebody cuts that to later in the stream where he's listening to his new album, and like halfway through he falls asleep. I don't know if Drake's a bad person at all or anything, but he's kind
of slimy.
Oh, is he? Whatever then. He deserves all this fucking shit he's getting.
Yeah, I think he's like, at the very least he hit on Billie Eilish like the second she turned 18.
Ew. Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of them people. I mean, I would have too, but I'm literally her age. Wait, isn't he like 40? Isn't he like in his mid-40s?
God, I have no idea how old he is.
And married? I'm sure he's married. What the fuck, Drake? Oh my god. Nice to see another disciple of God over here.
Oh yeah, fuck.
When you ain't out here ruining dance hall, you're all here trying to ruin teenage girls' lives.
Speaking of a teenage girl's life who has been ruined, let's cut back to Hagar. I fucking assume, honestly. Unfortunately.
I feel like, unfortunately, you have to make that assumption here every time somebody is lustful in this book.
Yeah. When the water skin was gone, she cast the child under one of the bushes. Then she went and sat down opposite him, a good way off, about the distance of a bow shot, for she said, "Do not let me look on the death of the child." And as she sat opposite him, she lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the boy, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven, and said to her, "What troubles you, Hagar? Do not be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Come, lift up the boy and hold him fast with your hand, for I will make a great nation of him." Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the skin with water, and gave the boy a drink. And this is also sad, but I kind of find that last bit funny. It's like, oh God, we're gonna die. Oh, was that well there the whole time?
Yeah, that the image of a mother having to look away from her child's death because it's inevitable, pretty heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, being Mexican, I've heard of tales like that of people crossing the border.
Yeah, which like
having to do similar stuff.
Which like
so that's crushing.
Which like unfortunately, like I wish the Bible didn't fucking forget Hagar so much, because I feel like a lot of conservative Americans should keep this tale in mind, because like this is the most fucking emotionally impactful shit in the Bible so far.
Honestly, yeah. Like, she is the only one that has acted at all in any logical or moral sense throughout this entire fucking book.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I think this is one that a lot of religious people could use a read over of.
Also, God here being like BoJack Horseman, where he puts people in terrible predicaments and then tries to be like the good in their lives. Like, dude, you created this whole mess in the first place.
Yeah, he's a very reactive God. God was with the boy, and he grew up. He lived in the wilderness and became an expert with the bow. He lived in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt.
Well, at least Ishmael got to be a real Nimrod.
What a fucking Nimrod, this guy. Being similar to the Bible character Nimrod. I mean, happy ending besides how this book consistently doesn't treat women as people. Hagar fucking got a wife for him. But, yeah, I mean, at least they fucking get to live normal, peaceful lives after this.
I mean, yeah, Hunter was like a decent life back then, right?
Yeah, I mean, besides how he's an ass of a man, I guess. But, I mean, it was probably good enough. You were actually eating meat on the regular, as opposed to, like, the fucking city dwellers. The wheat boys.
Chad Ishmael over here.
Yeah, dude, this is like a fucking...
Liver eating Ishmael. Red meat diet only Ishmael.
Fucking raw meat diet. Yeah, he's a fucking... I mean, like, this is a little bit more of the fucking... Well, I guess they're all nomads in this. I guess the fucking virgin Isaac isn't a wheat boy exactly.
So now, as an expert of the bow, he then goes on and shoots somebody in the heel.
Damn. He fucking shows up in the Trojan War.
Isn't that what you were telling me? Like, a lot of these has, like, tries to steal, like, imagery from the Trojan War.
Yeah, there's...
It'd be really funny if he did that.
I mean, there's a lot of...
If Ishmael killed Isaac by shooting him in the heel.
Damn. Let me think. I think Isaac's story is stupider than that.
Of course it has to be.
That'll be next week, though. That'll be next episode. Alright, you ready for a little bit more Abimelech stuff? At that time, Abimelech, with Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in all that you do. Now, therefore, swear to me here by God that you will not deal falsely with me, or with my offspring, or with my posterity. But as I have dealt loyally with you, you will deal loyally with me, and with the land where you have resided as an alien. And Abraham said, I swear it. Okay. I guess he literally just double-crossed him, and moreover, Abraham's probably a national security threat at this point. Probably why the army was involved in this little agreement.
My lord, this guy has some maniac, all-powerful maniac behind him. You should be careful. Yeah, I will set up a covenant with him, and hope that he doesn't double-cross us. Because how else am I supposed to deal with an all-neurotic god?
Yeah, that's a fucking dangerous god to be dealing with. Dangerous god behind a dangerous man.
Abimelech being the only other reasonable person here in this story.
Yeah, fuck. It's Abimelech, it's Hagar.
Lot. That's about it. No, not Lot. Fuck Lot.
Kind of Lot. Not really.
No, not Lot. Lot doesn't have a lot of good moments. Yeah, so Hagar and Abimelech. So now let's see what Abraham does to fuck over Abimelech, I'm guessing.
Well, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. When Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized, Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this. You did not tell me, and I have not heard of it until today. So Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and the two men made a covenant. Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs of the flock. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs that you have set apart? He said, These 7 ewe lambs you shall accept from my hand in order that you may be a witness for me that I dug this well. Therefore, that place was called Beersheba, because there both of them swore an oath. When they had made a covenant at Beersheba, Abimelech, with Phicol the commander of his army, left and returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham resided as an alien many days in the lands of the Philistines.
Okay.
Yeah, so, they're just buddies now. They're just friends. They're just pals. They're palling around.
So all that happened here was that, like, some of your men took my well. Oh, shit, did they? Abraham's like, here, have this sheep, and I can keep my well. And Abimelech's like, alright. Is that basically what happened here?
Yeah.
And Abraham planted a tree.
Yeah. I gotta call anachronism on the land of the Philistines bit, though, because...
They weren't there yet?
Yeah.
I figured.
After these...
Okay, so this actually is a normal one.
Yeah, an actual normal one.
Well, what a nice break.
Yeah, just a nice, just an interaction. Don't worry, we're getting back to the regularly scheduled bullshit. After these things, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham," and he said, "Here I am." He said, "Take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I shall show you."
What the fuck?
This deal keeps getting worse all the time. So, Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac. I like to think his 2 young men are like, his 2 strapping lads. I like to think of it like that.
You prepared for this like he would going into town to get groceries. Like, Hamabibalab and Obalibalam, come with me, I need to carry the bags.
And by bags, I mean entrails of my son.
Now you got...
He cut the wood for the burnt offering and set out and went to the place in the distance that God had shown him. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place was far away. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac. And he himself carried the fire and the knife, and the 2 of them walked on together. Isaac said to his father Abraham, "Father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." He said, "The fire and the wood are here, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham said, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the 2 of them walked on together.
The prehistoric of mice and men.
All right, Lenny, look out on that. look out on the horizon there.
Oh my god. Okay, I think I know what story this is now.
Yeah, I think you do too.
So, Isaac's probably safe here.
Damn. Yeah, no, there's no way to escape this one culturally.
Written very weirdly though. And he said, "Here I am, my son." He said.
Yeah.
Again, very renowned author Dan Brown-esque.
I feel like the 2 young men are my favorite part of the story upon rereading this though. I like the idea that if fucking Abraham had actually killed his son and he had to come back and explain what happened to them or make up some bullshit.
"Abraham, where's your son?" He tripped and fell into the fire.
Oops. And also I didn't bring a lamb or anything. Let's go home. I'm picturing it very homoerotic though, the 2 young men.
What the fuck? Okay, explain that to me.
Picturing them fucking like muscular male models, like greased up and shit, shirtless.
"We're Hans and Bombs. We're here to pump you up."
I don't know why I'm picturing it like that, but I'm picturing like I don't know if you've seen that video where it's like, "All right, make a face like your dog just died."
No, I know exactly why you're picturing. Wait, what?
I don't know if you've seen the video of the dude's saying to the male model like, "All right, make a face like your dog just died," and then he like looks down for a second and he like comes up and he's just making like a normal male modeling face.
No, but I know exactly where the fuck you got that image, and it's really the Dragon Ball Z Hellkeepers or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do love the idea of them just like, maybe they weren't homoerotic when they started, but the trip bonded the 2 together.
It's sort of a Brokeback Mountain situation. They're isolated
desert.
up in the mountains, waiting for Abraham and his son to get back, and one thing leads to another.
If I were straight and I had to hang out with my whole life, I was serving Abraham, and then I got to personally be with him for like 2 days, walking the desert. Knowing who he is, like knowing what Abraham did, would certainly turn me gay. It disgusts me of straight people for a while.
You're just like, okay, if this is what straight people do, maybe I need to find something else out.
Exactly.
Okay. When they came to the place that God had shown him, Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. when Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to kill his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham looked up and saw a ram, caught in the thicket by its horns. Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the place, The Lord Will Provide. As it is said to this day, On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. Yeah, so I guess circumcision wasn't enough, huh? Wasn't enough to prove your fucking devotion to God.
I imagine this, that, Abraham instead uses the knife to cut the ropes from Isaac. And Isaac's like, oh my God, Dad. And they hug each other out while the lamb is just in the background burning in pain, being like, and the camera just pans to both of them just hugging it out.
I think they would have killed the ram first in their defense, but also I like the idea of like, I love you so much, son. Now let's go kill this animal together.
Oh, yes, Danny. And you just hear...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no.
They kill the ram while the two young men go ram.
Yeah, it wasn't the only ramming that was happening near that mountain. Oh. Also, it's fucking Ram Ranch. But yeah, starting a nation outright with generational trauma and trust issues.
Also got me was the, here I am.
Yeah, that was a creative choice by me to read it like that every time.
It's like a little kid saying present at, the beginning of class. It's such a weird detail.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will indeed bless you. And I will make your offspring as numerous as the stars of heaven, and as the sand that is on the seashore, yada, yada, yada. And your offspring shall possess the gate of their enemies. And by your offspring shall all the nations of the earth gain blessing for themselves, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham lived at Beersheba. He went to his young men, and his young men arose from the bed, I presume.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was laughing at.
But also, when I was reading this, I kind of got fucking infuriated. They already made the covenant. Was it not official yet? What a fucking asshole.
No, this is what I was saying. He's such a fucking goal mover. It's like, no. Trust me this time. No. But this time, trust me, bro. But no, seriously though. Now
I'm gonna do it. Look, before I wasn't sure, even though I fucking gave you an acid trip and made you cut off a bit of your dick. Now I'm gonna do it. This time.
What a fucking goal mover.
So I'm gonna skip a small bit about Abraham's brother having some kids. I will note that one of those kids is named Bethuel, and Bethuel has a daughter named Rebecca. And keep that in mind for next episode, because it will come up. So now we're going to get on to another...
Oh god, now we're gonna pour Rebecca's name into this.
Yeah.
Rebecca being your partner.
Yes. Yeah. So next we're going to get to the saddest part of the whole Bible, in my opinion. Sarah dying. Abraham's, lifelong companion. Surely they'll dedicate the next paragraph, at least, to her dying, right? Let's go. Sarah lived 127 years. This was the length of Sarah's life. And Sarah died at Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah, and to weep for her. Abraham rose up from beside his dead, and said to the Hittites, I am a stranger, and an alien residing among you. Give me property among you for a burying place, so that I may bury my dead out of my sight. The Hittites answered Abraham, Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us will withhold from you any burial ground for burying your dead. Abraham rose and bowed to the Hittites, the people of the land. He said to them, "If you are willing that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me Ephron of Zohar, so that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he owns. It is at the end of his field. For the full price let him give it to me in your presence as a possession for a burying place." Now Ephron was sitting among the Hittites, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the Hittites, of all who went in at the gate of his city, "No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. In the presence of my people I give it to you. Bury your dead." Then Abraham bowed before the people of the land. He said to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, "If you only will listen to me, I will give the price of the field. Accept it from me, so that I may bury my dead there." Ephron answered Abraham, "My lord, listen to me. A piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is it between you and me? Bury your dead." Abraham agreed with Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver that he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the weights current among the merchants. So the field of Ephron of Machpelah, which was to the east of Mamre, the field with the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, throughout its whole area, passed to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the Hittites, in the presence of all who went in the presence of all who went in at the gate of the city. The field and the cave that is in it passed from the Hittites into Abraham's possession as a burying place. So on.
This is so needlessly repetitious.
So did you expect it to be two sentences about Sarah and then a burial logistic story? I sort of like half jokingly alluded to it, but like if you were to have pictured the death of Sarah as a story, would you have expected mostly to be talking to Hittites about like the price of the land and which land and where that land faces?
He really went full anarcho-capitalist with this. It's like, oh no, my partner died. Let me see what's the best deal I can get out of this. Like using her death as leverage to buy some land.
And the Hittites are at least nice guys, you know?
And you're like, of course, why, you are a great man, for you can bury them anywhere. I don't know, this is so sleazy.
It's such a weird... You'd think that it would have literally any emotional weight.
I mean, I guess he did mourn, but it feels like he did a hell of a lot more bargaining.
Yeah.
This reminds me of just recently, Trump's first wife died, and then he buried her at Mar-a-Lago, and then a bunch of like financial analysts caught on to the reason he did that was so he could get a tax break.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is what it feels like.
Yeah, it sure does.
This ain't even the book of 2 Corinthians yet.
Sure isn't 2 Corinthians yet. What was the meme there again?
Because somebody asked him what's his favorite book from the Bible. He's like, oh, they're all good. Trying to talk his way out of it, but he said, but I guess if I had to choose, it has to be 2 Corinthians. Or whatever the incorrect title of it is.
2 Corinthians.
Is the proper title 2 Corinthians?
I think the proper title is 2 Corinthians.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians, which he said 2 Corinthians or something like that. Which, like, why were you asking that? He doesn't fucking read the Bible. He doesn't read.
Maybe it's some lib thinking that matters to any evangelical.
Yeah, I forgot who asked him. Probably some dumbass, but the guy doesn't read. We literally have, like, court footage of him not being able to fucking read the documents right in front of him.
Isn't, like, one of the only books he, like, actually owns and reads is, like, Mein Kampf. I want to say somebody said that, like, Mein Kampf was, like, a book he had. Like, one of
I feel like that is true, but in the defense, it's, like, more of a... he owns it more of a case study, but also, I don't trust the person who probably said that either.
Yeah, probably. It was probably some aide, some, like, fired White House aide or something, or, like, campaign aide.
You know what Trump does exhibit a lot of Abraham vibes. The sexual assault, the not paying people for their labor.
Oh, the incest undertones.
Heavy incest undertones. Oh my god, you're right.
I think the one difference is that Abraham was, like, ever successful at anything. I guess he became...
Yeah, because he eventually... He was successful in everything he set out to do.
Yeah, Abraham actually competently oversaw a war once.
Trump kind of half-hastily ended one, which, good and all, but I don't think you needed to release the leader of Al Qaeda for that.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember well enough what that is.
Because everybody gives shit for Biden for ending, the war in Afghanistan,
Mm-hmm.
but Trump made the deal for it,
Mm-hmm.
and part of the deal was that he released like 200 Al Qaeda prisoners.
Oh, huh.
So I don't think you need to do that, but whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not a foreign policy expert.
The art of the deal. All right. Thus ends another exciting episode of the Anarcho-Biblicalist podcast. What'd you think What'd you think of it, Juan?
Oh my god, you are blackpilling me, dude.
There's no hope for this world.
At first I came in like, oh my god, I'm gonna learn about this book finally that I should probably have read, and I regret ever learning to read now. This is just a horror. I mean, I'm entertained. I'm highly entertained. This is a very entertaining book. But, again, like I said at last episode, knowing that our whole civilizational history stems from this one fucking book is terrifying the shit out of me.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I guess good for Trump for not knowing any slice of the Bible.
Oh god, he could have weaponized that so effectively.
Oh god, yeah.
If he was just a few IQ points smarter.
Well, in that case,
nothing could have stopped that guy.
In that case, he'd just be like Jerry Falwell or whatever. He'd just be a mega church person, because like mega church people are just like Trump, but learn how to weaponize the Bible better.
Yeah, that's true. What's funny is like the whole thing with Trump though, is that Trump's whole life is also like a black comedy, just very much how the Bible feels like it. Cause think about it, cause his whole life he's like trying to be like this big star that everybody loves, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of cons and navigates the political world to the presidency, only for everybody that he likes to detest him, and all the people he detests to like him.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure when he became president, he was expected to be on like Jimmy Fallon and be shaking hands with fucking Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves.
But that shit only held up for his election campaign.
Yeah, but now none of those cool people like him, and so he's stuck with like Ted Nugent and Kid Rock and all these shitty ass celebrities. And it's like he's literally suffering from success. Yeah. And we all suffer with him now.
Yeah. He brought us all down with him.
So there you go. It's the similarity. The common thread between Trump and the Bible is that these both are hilarious tragedies.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Or maybe I'm just a fucked up person looking at that. I don't know.
And they just
I might need some therapy.
And they just leave people's fucking. They'll go and do a thing and then just like leave. I don't know if I should use this phrase because it's a little deeper. It's a little bit like dehumanizing, but they just leave human shrapnel in their wake.
They leave human what in their wake?
Shrapnel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They just ruin lives as they go.
Well, thank you, Jordan. You have sucked all.
I've sucked you dry.
All the hope from. Yes, you sucked me dry of all my hope and dreams, and it didn't even feel good.
It's what I do, Juan.
I laugh in the face of God for, can a guy like me, so old and withered,
really be sucked so dry?
Really be sucked.
Is there anything left to suck from me? I laugh.
Oh, anyways, again, thanks, Jordan.
All right. Yeah.
And thanks, listener, for suffering with us.
All right. Thank you, Juan, for getting sucked dry, and thank you, listener, for letting me suck you dry. We will see you next time on the Anarcho-Biblicalist podcast. Goodbye.
All right.